So, ask yourself, what is mental disability? Mental disabilities are health conditions involving changes in emotion, thinking, or behavior, or a combination of these. Mental disabilities are associated with distress or a problem functioning in social, work, or family activities. Mental disabilities is very common in these day and ages. Mental disabilities and mental health are in the same category, but mental health is a state of well-being in which every individual realizes his or her own potential. The late 2012 and early 2012, there was a survey taken by white, black, Asian, and Hispanic to see who had the most mental health and mental disabilities combined. I needed more information, so I went to NAMI, Minnesota, the National Alliance on Mental Illnesses. So you can find their homepage on nami.org, where you can get help, give help, and learn more about their organization. What you are and what your status in this company is.
Sure. So my name is Sue Abderholden, and I'm the Executive Director here at NAMI, Minnesota, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. And we're a nonprofit organization. We began in 1976, and our mission is to really provide education, support, and advocacy to children and adults with mental illnesses and their families.
Okay. How about I start with a question? What are the different types of mental disabilities that people face?
So there's a wide range of mental illnesses. The most common is anxiety, followed by depression, and then we also support people who live with bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorder, eating disorders, borderline personality disorder, and PTSD.
What treatments do you do for people that have mental disabilities?
So we're not a direct treatment provider. We really provide more peer-to-peer education and support. So for example, nearly 100% of our staff and volunteers either live with a mental illness or have a family member. So then we kind of help them on this journey, but we don't actually provide treatment.
Okay, gotcha. How did you get into this organization?
Well, I applied for the position 17 years ago, but I also have family members who live with a mental illness.
How could someone that has a mental disability who doesn't have any insurance get access to this, and what would you suggest for it?
So if someone needs treatment for their mental illness and they don't have insurance, any community mental health center has a sliding fee. So based on their income, they would pay a certain percentage towards the care. But there are also some free clinics, including the Walk-In Counseling Center that's just off it's on Chicago Avenue, just south of Franklin.
Okay. Can trauma events in your life cause mental disability, or is it just like a chemical implication?
So we don't really quite understand all the reasons why people develop mental illnesses, but we do know genetics plays a role. We do know environment, chemicals play a role, but we also do know that traumatic events do. And some people are more resilient than others, but trauma can involve things like even being in a car accident, tornado or flood, certainly coming from a war-torn country, being in a refugee camp.
The graph above shows that mental disability people have grown in the past few years, but it has also shortened too. Do you think mental disabilities are not shown too much in life, or is it just not freely enough for people to show?
So 1 in 5 people are impacted by mental illness, so it's extremely common. I would say that 20 years ago, no one wanted to talk about it. Even 10 years ago, people started. And I think that the barriers to talking about it are decreased, but some of it is still there. So someone who is working may not want to share that that's what they have. We know in certain cultural communities, particularly Refugee communities, recent immigrants typically do not talk about mental illness at all. It's almost like having two ways that you can discriminate against someone: by the color of their skin and by their mental illness.
Gotcha. Okay. Do you think that mental illnesses have grown over the past few years, or have they decreased?
Actually, we know that among youth, it's increasing. The rest of the population, the prevalence rate has stayed pretty steady, but it has increased slightly among children and youth. We don't know all the reasons why. Certainly, looking at things like social media, devices, phones, iPads, things like that, which also kind of lead young people to stay up too late, so they're not getting good sleep, which is really important to your mental health. But also comparing yourself to someone online. So no one posts a bad photo of themselves on Instagram, right? And so if it's only perfect photos and you're comparing yourself to that in, the quiet and loneliness of your own room, you're going to start feeling bad about yourself. So we do think that that's playing a role, along with, frankly, just high stress.
Is there really an answer for people with mental disabilities? Like, say, my younger sister has it. She doesn't actually walk that much. Sometimes she has trouble walking. Is there other places except this place to help them out in the world?
Sure. So one thing to be careful about is, mental illnesses are one thing, developmental disabilities and autism are another. And so depending on what the disability is the group that you would go to. There are about 4 mental health advocacy organizations in the state of Minnesota. So there's NAMI, there's also Mental Health Minnesota, Wellness in the Woods, and the Minnesota Association for Children's Mental Health. And some of the other disabilities, there's Autism Society, there's ARC of Minnesota, and so there's some other groups as well. And
hospitals and doctors have been trying to help patients get cured from this mental disability that has been over them. They also have been going to psychiatrists that actually help them talk about their mental disability and actually sit down with them and listen to what they have to say. Mental health is something that can help us achieve even greater beyond what mental disability could have done in the beginning before. Asking yourself, how can I help? Well, you can do fundraisers and sporting events. But most importantly, people, we have one brain. Do something amazing with it.